Buff Nation.
Let's go.
Squad. It's portal season. Let's get it.
It is. Welcome into a virtual studio for DNVR Buffs Live. Lots to get to. What a weekend, huh? Portal ain't even open yet. This is crazy.
How is all this happening without the portal being open?
Well, okay, so Xavier Hill and Sincere Brown committed to Colorado. I think both of them are grads, so they were able to kind of circumvent the portal and enter just because they were graduated and able to, and so they don't have to – they can just commit whenever. So they went on visits over this last week to Colorado. They obviously like what they see, and then they commit. So that's where we're at right now. And we're just literally – we are just getting started. Just wait.
It's going to be one hell of a ride. And, I mean, I guess I don't know what the plan is of where to go here, but I'll just start with Sincere Brown, who I'm incredibly excited about. And obviously it was perfect timing for us to have TK on the show on Friday because Sincere Brown has kind of been his guy through this portal cycle. And because of him and, other people posting stuff, like we've gotten to see a lot. This is a really, really, really exciting move for the Buffs. And it's the classic, like, someone's going to say, why do we need more receivers? We don't need more receivers. Like, you didn't have a guy like this. You have a lot of different players, and you have some good guys, but you don't have a 6'5" guy who can fly like this, like Sincere Brown can. And I feel like his potential of what he could be is completely untapped at this point. So you bring him in here with J. Phil, who, and LeJontay was already a great receiver guy. Became even better. And I think that that's a really good example to look to of like what we can expect from Sincere Brown.
Yeah, man. I know Sincere got Buff Nation turned up right now because he is an exciting player. Who is, again, coming to Colorado for his last year of college eligibility to do some big things. And obviously he did some big things last year, racking up over 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns, those 60-plus catches over at Campbell. And it's crazy to think about the fact that Coach Prime and this Colorado recruiting staff have already landed 2 top 10 transfers, at least according to ESPN. And the spring portal ain't even officially open yet. They have already started this spring portal process, the transfer side of it at least. Absolutely on fire with obviously Sincere Brown and Xavier Hill as well. Talking a little about Xavier Hill, I think it was fair to say last weekend that the 2 biggest needs on the offensive line were right tackle and left guard. Guess what? Xavier Hill plays both of those positions, and he plays both of those positions at a very high level. So those are 2 priorities that were addressed. I think adding, a different kind of skill set at receiver and somebody who is quite literally a day one starter on the offensive line in Xavier Hill, somebody who is a first team all AAC pick last year, somebody who's played damn near 2,000 career snaps. Again, his versatility is something that this coaching staff, we know they covet. And, being able to play those 2 positions, being able to play on the interior and at right tackle, is really a match made in heaven for, this offensive line group as currently constructed. So this was a massive weekend, back-to-back days, Saturday and Sunday for this recruiting staff to start off the spring cycle.
Yeah, absolutely massive. Starting with Sincere Brown, I've kind of mentioned this before. I mean, Colorado the last 3 off seasons now has targeted this like big, lengthy, kind of field stretching deep threat that you can put on the outside. To help kind of dictate coverages, defensive formations, just to help keep the defense honest. I mean, you had that in Zay Weaver. They tried to get that going in Javon Antonio that first year too. Last year it was kind of Will Shepherd. Now it's Sincere Brown. And he offers a different dimension. I mean, Zay had that speed too, right? I mean, he was catching some screens, doing some reverse type stuff. But I think you can do even more of that. And from what we've seen so far, the little of what we've seen at practice, I mean, this offense is getting more versatile. There's more quarterback option stuff being thrown in. There's a lot more scheme-wise that is just wasn't around the last 2 years. And I think Sincere is going to be a big part of that in terms of getting that off the ground and just getting an instant spark as soon as that first game against Georgia Tech. Maybe just getting him on a screen, whatever it is, get him in space, let him use that size and speed. And then Xavier Hill, man, I mean, this offensive line, they prioritized the trenches the last 2 years. And it's the golf ball theory, right? I mean, you kind of trade all these guys, and you keep on moving and getting better each portal cycle. And that's exactly what this move is. Was going to be highly coveted by many other teams, but Colorado, I mean, as they always do, you get these guys in Boulder, get them to the Champions Center, get them talking with Coach Prime, this coaching staff with all this NFL experience and all the players there. It's hard for these guys to resist. So 2 massive moves and many, many more to come.
What position is Xavier Hill playing, Jake?
He's playing left guard, and I can 100% confirm that.
Can we let's rewind a little bit. Explain why that's funny.
So, look, I'm not trying to start anything. I'm going to be nice here. There was a certain section of the fan base who was convinced that if Xavier Hill committed, he would be playing right tackle, which, as Scotty said, probably one of the weakest parts on this offensive line right now. That is not the case. They recruited him as a guard. He will be playing guard. So I just put out – I didn't even according to 2 sources, double source, 100% confirmed breaking news, he will be playing left guard. I just put a little tweet out there like, hey, projected lineup, he'll be playing left guard, and people lost it. So, he's playing left guard. I don't know what to tell you.
Scott, were you abreast of this situation? Did people lose their minds, or is Jake overreacting a little bit?
Jake is not overreacting in this instance. People were really coming at bro's throat over the weekend over a very innocent tweet and a source tweet at that. A tweet that was sent out after Jake talked to a couple people who know a couple things in terms of the football program and how guys might be utilized. And to Jake, like I said to you on Twitter, bro, stand on business, brother. You know what you know, and we'll all see soon enough. But just a couple of things to kind of support your point, Jake. Obviously, I wrote a story about Xavier Hill, what he means to this offensive line over the weekend on Saturday. Go check that out on DNVR.com. But Xavier Hill's offensive line coach at Memphis is on the record saying that Hill's ideal position is on the interior. So that is coming from the man who coached Xavier Hill last year, who saw him obviously at right tackle. And he finished the year, I want to say he played the last 5 or 6 games at right tackle, but I think that was more out of necessity. And honestly, I think it might have been a point of contention as to why he even left Memphis in the first place. It seems to me that Xavier Hill prefers to be on the interior at playing guard. And I think if he wants to reach the next level, which I assume he does, he has the potential to do so, it's probably going to be a guard in the NFL. So it would behoove him to, continue to work on that aspect of his game here at Colorado. In addition to that, ESPN had Xavier Hill as the number 4 ranked player in the spring transfer portal. This obviously cycle. Max Olson at ESPN put this together. And in his blurb about Xavier Hill, he goes, he started 26 consecutive games, which is hella impressive, and brought valuable versatility to Memphis' offensive line with his ability to switch between left guard and right tackle. Olson goes on to say that Hill is a big get for this group. Hill can play multiple roles, but likely starts off at left guard. And then Billy Tucker, also from ESPN in this article, goes on to say, while Xavier Hill graded well, the AAC star shows some lack of agility in pass pro, which is a concern if he remains at right tackle. So, again, in addition to that, to what Jake, has heard and what we're seeing from people on the national side of things, all indications point to Xavier Hill playing left guard. Can he play right tackle? Could he eventually end up at right tackle at a certain point? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. He can play there and he can be valuable there. But I think the plan is to start Xavier Hill at left guard with Zy Crisler at right guard, obviously JC at, left tackle, and then center and right tackle. We'll see what happens.
Jake, did you say that you're going to shave your head if he plays the right tackle?
I did not say that. I 100% did not say that. Someone thought that they were going to get me and say, if he doesn't, you have to shave your head. So I was just like, okay, bet.
So, yes, you did say that.
I mean, I didn't literally put the words together.
Right, but the bet, that's the bet?
If that's also but the other side of the bet is that one of the many burner accounts that are in the Colorado football universe is going to have to reveal their face if I'm right. So
Okay.
I did see that.
And was it where he starts or if he ever plays somewhere?
no, he's brought in to play left tackle or left guard. What happens after that? I mean, it's anyone's guess. Like, I don't understand why this is such a big deal, honestly. He's coming in here to play left guard. They're going to recruit more tackles, more center prospects, probably more guard prospects in this portal period coming up. They targeted Xavier Hill as a left guard, though. I just don't know what else to say.
It's a big deal to me just because I think it's good content.
It is for sure.
I saw someone in the comments say that Gunnar was on with Unk this morning. And he said he'll play wherever he's needed, which makes sense. But I fully back your reporting as to what he was brought in to do.
Thank you. Anyways, he's a massive get for this team. Look, and this is another reason why I don't understand why this was so controversial. Guard has been one of the worst, if not the worst, spots on this offensive line the last 3 seasons, ever since Coach Prime has got here. They've rotated so many guys in at guard. Zy Crisler is finally holding it down at right guard. And now I think they found a player in Xavier Hill that they are very confident can hold it down at left guard. If you have those 2 strong guards, I mean, that kind of changes everything, man. You're able to pull more. You're able to just go straight ahead more. Like, you can just do so much more if your guards are solid. It helps out your center. Your tackles can, be on that island. You don't have to constantly shift to one side. Like, it's invaluable to have 2 guards like that. I mean, we don't really talk about guards in that regard, I guess, but when it's been the weakest part of your team the last 3 years, like, this is big time stuff.
I just really like where this offensive line is at. Just hearing Zy Crisler talk last week about, saying this offensive line is rolling. Hearing T-Cal on Friday tell us that this offensive line is something that he's not really worried about in relative to the other positions on this team. And then you go and add, Xavier Hill, who, again, is a day 1 starter. You have, in my opinion, 3 elite starting offensive linemen currently projected to start here on this team. And obviously, George Seaton, Xavier Hill, and Zy Crisler. And again, it gives you a starting point to now what you need to target. You want to add a right tackle if you can. You want to continue to add center guard kind of versatility here in the portal when it's officially opens here on Wednesday. So I really like where this room is headed. And again, relative to the rest of the positions on this team, I feel really confident about this offensive line, which is something that I might not have said, before as like Crisler and Xavier Hill arrived.
Yeah. My hope is just that once they get all these positions filled, once they, finish up in the portal, we can get some, I guess I'll use the word commitment from the coaches on what they want to do and who's playing where, and do our very best to keep it that way.
Stevie Davey says, I assume there's going to be attrition in the room. I mean, that's welcome to Colorado football. It's the golf ball
college
theory.
Football.
That too. It's the golf ball theory, though. I mean, they're just not going to stop looking for better talent across the board, every single position. I mean, they're fine at quarterback. Nico Iamaleava is not going to happen, and we'll get to that much later. But almost every other position is on the board too. One more thing. T-Cal also said that he and his scouts only evaluated Hill at left guard. They did not evaluate him at tackle. So if you're going to come at me, you're coming at T-Cal too.
Did he know you were being facetious when he quote tweeted you? Because you were like, oh, I thought he's only playing right tackle or whatever. And then I saw him quote tweet you with that.
I think he sensed this.
I assume so, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, just crazy stuff. Yeah.
Is my sound okay? People are complaining about it. Or was it just at
You're
the
a
beginning?
little quiet. You're just a little quiet.
You were breaking up a little bit in your first open, but you've been good since then.
Okay, cool. I have a nice microphone right here.
I like how you had to show us that, just so we knew you weren't lying.
Yeah, I mean, I can't be getting any accusations over here.
Hey, one more thing about Sincere Brown. like I said, 2 top 10 transfers in the spring portal, according to ESPN. ESPN has Sincere Brown at number 6 in this spring cycle. Just a small blurb about him. Billy Tucker, again at ESPN, goes, Brown excels on 50-50 balls and will consistently make contested catches. He has soft hands, good body control to elevate and high point the football. He can get behind coverage with his stride despite not being a burner, and his catch radius is a real weapon in the red zone. Like, this is somebody, again, who I think has a complete game to him at receiver. Like, typically at 6'5", you're expecting somebody to, be a down the field threat, make contested catches. But this is somebody who can do the things that you would typically associate with like a slot speedy receiver. We talked about it a little bit on Friday. Like, they're throwing him screens and he's taking them to the crib. Like, he really has everything that you want in a 6'5" frame to do it. I mean, big plays. He is a big play maven. I'm talking about gains just this past season of 74 yards, 57 yards, 64 yards, 70 yards. So I just think that this was a real, I don't want to say need, but because his skill set is so different than I think the rest of the guys in that receiver room, I think it almost did kind of turn into a need. And again, he's a veteran too. Like, we all really like the talent in that receiver room, but aside from Amari and Miller and Draylon Miller and what Joseph Williams did as a true freshman last year, there's just not a lot of verified production in that room. But Sincere Brown brings a lot of that. And obviously in a guy who is a senior going into his last year of eligibility as well. And I kind of tweeted out kind of like my top 10, so to speak, receivers, I think, here on this team last year. And I just named a couple of them: Draylon, Amarion, Sincere, Joseph Williams, Isaiah Harge, Cam Michael, Terrell Timmons, and then the 3 freshman receivers, Quanell, Quinton, and Adrian Wilson. Those are 10 guys right there. And I think we probably expect them to add maybe one more body to that room. But the thing that I really like about that collection of 10 guys, all those guys are coming back next year, for the exception of Terrell Timmons and Sincere Brown. So there's a lot of youth and a lot of development to be had here in that room. So I like, in particular, with those 2 rooms, offensive line and receiver room, I feel really happy about those groups right now.
Well said, Scotty. I want to, as Neely would say, throw another log on that fire, but let's do that on the other side of this break. Shout out to our friends over at Timeline. They're going to be hooking you up with all the health/longevity supplements that you need to just continue to prosper, live a long, healthy life. Features their MitoPure ingredient. It works with the cells in your body to help reverse age-related decline, recharges your cells, and helps your body systems to work better. It's also the only supplement clinically proven to rejuvenate health at the cellular level. So hit them up. We're all trying to do better, right? Live healthier lives. I mean, it's beautiful outside. Who wouldn't want to see more these days? So hit up our friends over at Timeline. Right now, Timeline is giving you 10% off your order of MitoPure. Go to timeline.com/DNVR today to get started. That's timeline.com/DNVR. We can't hear you, bro.
We can't hear you, broski. You got to do something. I don't know what happened.
Shout out to RK and his Toyota, though.
No doubt about it, man. Shout out to the squad over at Toyota, man. I know RK just wishes he could talk about his Toyota right now, and I know he wishes everybody could hear him. But
He's so upset right now.
I know Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. Trucks have always been a part of Toyota's DNA for generations. Toyota has built durable legends destined for greatness and perfect for Colorado. They got 17 different models with all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, like the Epic 4Runner. They got 16 different hybrid vehicles to choose from, like the Tundra iForce Max Hybrid. Toyota is all about comfortability, durability, getting you to where you need to go in style. So visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain State Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places.
You back, RK? Nope. Nope. Real quick, though, to your point, Scotty, I think that's really well analyzed on this wide receiver room. We're really excited about it for a reason. There's a lot of talent to be excited about, returning talent, young talent coming in. But if you actually dig into this, there is some questions in this receiving room, right? Like Joseph Williams, he had a strong, 4 or 5 game stretch of his freshman year.
Yeah, literally.
You got to see more of that. Like, you can't just bank on that and think that he's going to be someone who can come in and totally change the wide receiver room. Terrell Timmons, Coach Jay Phil said it when we spoke to him a few weeks ago. He's got to step up. You want to see more production out of him. We're talking about guys like Draylon and Cam potentially playing running back or just, being very versatile. Like, you need true wide receivers, and they went and got one in Sincere Brown. I'd expect them to go get another one as well in this portal cycle. But that's well said. Like, we're very excited about this room, but there's some questions still.
I completely agree, bro. I'm curious. You mentioned a name there that I mentioned previously. I want to get your take on, bro. Cam Michael. We obviously saw some clips of him surface of him working with Marshall Faulk and the running backs. What are your thoughts on Cam Michael potentially really doing what we have kind of been asking for to see him at running back? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm pumped. I'm pumped, man. I mean, obviously he can do it. That's what he did. He did everything in high school. I mean, literally everything. He was one of the best players in that recruiting class for a reason. That was part of it because he could do whatever he wanted to. So I'm excited. And it's one thing we've talked about. RK's mentioned it a lot, actually, is with Marshall Faulk coming in, you need that pass catching threat out of the backfield. And if that's going to be Cam Michael with the speed, with the, what he did in college at that position, you can't be anything but excited for, his prospects in that room. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot of that in the spring game just this weekend.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy. Spring game is finally here. We'll talk a little bit about that later in the show. But yeah, I'm excited to see Cam in whatever role they decide to use him in. But him with the ball in his hands is something that I need to see consistently.
For sure. I think he's going to be a big piece of this offense. It seems like they're really emphasizing just getting him on the field in some regard.
Facts.
All right, let's talk more portal. Some targets have emerged already for the Buffs and Coach Prime in this transfer portal. Ja'Kai Lang, we spoke about him briefly last week. Arden Walker quote tweeted when he said he was going to enter the portal, Lang was going to enter the portal, that's my guy. Let's be teammates again. Come on down to Boulder.
So were they teammates at the zoo for a brief moment?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe I don't know what it is exactly. He's not a Colorado kid. He's from Missouri. Lang is.
So, yeah, maybe there was like a semester overlap before Arden transferred to Colorado and when Ja'Kai originally got there.
Either way, they're familiar. He's coming on a visit, so he'll be here this weekend. Stay tuned. There's going to be a handful of visits coming in, and some are pretty impactful. RK, you good, bro?
Can you hear me?
Let's go.
Yeah, we're good.
Hey, RK, I asked Jake this before we get back into, because I want to circle back on this topic with Ja'Kai Lang. But RK, I was just asking Jake. We saw some clips surface this weekend of Cam Michael working with Marshall Faulk and the running backs. What are your thoughts on him potentially doing something that we've kind of been clamoring for him to do, which is, take some reps at running back and utilize his skill set that way?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I want to see full commitment one way or the other.
So do I.
I don't like the idea of having guys bounce back and forth, not really fully be one thing or the other. Draylon is obviously a very unique talent, and there are certain things you can do with him at running back. And personally, I think the carries that they gave him at running back were more just to show that they were willing to hand him the ball. So when he lined up back there, he wasn't considered only a receiving threat.
Yeah.
But I think if you're not going to be fully one thing or the other, it hurts your development. And Draylon, I think if he were ever to go, which he's not going to do this, but he were to go full-time running back, his vision would get better. All of the the way that he hits the hole would get stronger. So if Cam's going to do it, that excites me because you've kind of have you haven't refilled the scat back role ever since Dylan Edwards left, so you could kind of use him in that regard. But I'd like to see full commitment one way or the other.
I completely agree. But yeah, just thinking about Cam, getting a full kind of gambit of reps and coaching and teaching from Marshall Falk. That's just scary to think about. Because again, he rushed for damn near 1,600 yards, 10 total touchdowns, in high school, just from a rushing perspective. That would be something cool and a different kind of wrinkle for this offense that could be unlocked. But back to Ja'Kai Lang, that would be another great add. Like, again, at a premium position, this is somebody who was second on Mizzou last year in sacks as a young guy. He still has 3 years of eligibility left, so he would be able to continue to grow with a Tajay McCoy, with the London Mayer, the Alexander McPherson kind of in that edge group as well. So Ja'Kai Lang and, obviously him having a relationship with Arden Walker, that can't hurt either. So hopefully Arden and the rest of that recruiting staff can lock Mr. Lang down.
Yes, sir. He'll be here for the spring game, so he's expecting to see big things. And
feel like it's a good hit rate on spring game visitors.
Yeah, I think so. Recruits and transfers. It's notable for sure. So a few other guys who have entered the portal that I wanted to bring up. We're still looking for a running back. Kendrick Raphael, running back from North Carolina State, entered the portal. He's had 700 rushing yards over the last 2 seasons. I'd expect to just see a running back name sooner than later at this point, honestly. It's a matter of time. We can talk about Cam playing running back and all that, but, with Isaiah potentially entering the portal or not being with the team and potentially more movement on the way, you're just going to have to attack some of these guys. And then T-Cal and a few other people mentioned this guy. Illinois State defensive back Tayon Parks is someone to keep an eye on. Another productive guy from a lower level, has, the body, the length to really play corner at the Power 4 level. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a shot. Caden Salter quote tweeted this one today. Liberty Edge TJ Bush Jr. has entered the portal. He is someone who's probably going to be pretty coveted. He was one of Liberty's best players on defense this last year. He had 58 total tackles, 10 TFLs, 5.5 sacks, and 4 passes defensed. I do not have a height and weight for you right now.
For TJ Bush?
Yeah, do you have it?
Yeah, 6'3", 260, which is a nicely built edge rusher right there. That boy's a dog. One more, just real quickly, just to go back on Parks, the defensive back that you mentioned from Illinois State. Bro is nice, and he had a really good year last year. He had 45 tackles, 13 pass breakups last year at corner, which obviously led their entire conference. So Parks would be a really good add at that cornerback spot that is kind of thin after the top 4. And obviously Colton Hood and Preston Hodge have been pretty banged up this entire spring, which has affected their practice availability. So I think it'll be a priority to add at least 1 corner, maybe even 2, and Parks would be a great option.
I'm seeing 11, I'm seeing 13, but double-digit PBUs last year that he had at Illinois State. Auburn had 2 safeties into the portal, Terrence Love and CJ Johnson. I don't think CJ Johnson has played much, but Terrence Love was someone who I think is going to be highly, highly recruited in this portal cycle. I'm pretty sure he was a big recruit coming out of high school, played in 21 games over the last few years. I'm pulling it up now. He was a 4-star recruit in the 2023 class, top 300 player. So he's going to garner interest no matter what. Also a track guy, and played 2 ways in high school. So keep an eye for those guys. Talon Chandler has entered the transfer portal. RK, what do you think?
I wish him nothing but the best.
Hey, I need the background because I seen Buff Nation got something with this young man, and that name don't ring a bell to me. That must have been before my time.
It was. Look, I don't know honestly why everyone's hating on this. I mean, people are saying he dissed CU in prime for some reason. He was committed to them for a while, recruited a lot for them as he was committed, ends up decommitting, flipping to his home school in Mizzou, and it's kind of committed.
He was committed to CU.
Yes,
for a long time.
Oh wow,
for a while.
Yeah. And the crazy part was just that he was like how every recruiting class has like the guy in the class who was recruiting everyone else.
He was
like Chauncey.
He was that.
Like Chauncey,
yeah.
Wow.
So that made it really surprising when he flipped.
Interesting.
That's portal stuff. Again, the portal doesn't actually open till Wednesday. This is it's madness right now. And we can take a break and dig into this Nico Iamaleava situation as well, because obviously lots of things are changing. Shout out to the homies over at Empire today. Oh man, missing Studio A today. But I know that floor is going to be strong, shiny, and durable when I show back up tomorrow, because that's just what Empire today does. They put a new floor in our studio. It's able to withhold all the moving and shuffling we do, and they are looking to hook you up at your home or business as well. You can get a free in-home consultation with our friends over at Empire today, so you can see exactly which flooring matches your wants, desires, and needs. They are the best in the business, so hit them up for a free in-home estimate, because some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can receive a $350 discount when using promo code DNVR. That's a $350 discount with code DNVR. Some restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday.com/DNVR for full details.
Also, shout out to UC Health. Big day today, boys. Let me just double check this here on my Apple Watch. Day 75. 75.
Wow, let's go.
Milestone day, day 75, hitting my move goal, because I'm trying to live like there is a tomorrow, and that's what UC Health is encouraging us to do. It's easy to live like there's no tomorrow, and also kind of fun to live like there's no tomorrow sometimes. But as we get older, as we become more mature, we have to realize that there is a tomorrow and take care of ourselves. And that's what UC Health is encouraging us all to do. So you can learn more about living like there is a tomorrow by going to uchealth.org for more info. UC Health, take care of yourself, live extraordinary.
All right.
Wait, I forgot about this. Jonah said he had on Prime shoes and shades in his flip video. And didn't Drinkwitz also have on blenders?
Oh, that's insane. That's damn near a troll job then at that point.
I'm going to find this.
I feel like this is real.
Hey, no, that's crazy.
Those kind of look like Prime. Wait, no, he's in Colorado. I'll find it.
Drake would seem like the type to go along with that too.
Yeah. Yep.
I might just be throwing out accusations, and I don't even care.
Nico Iamaleava or spring game forecast? Where do you want to go?
I just would like to start by saying this is your best pronunciation ever.
That was seamless, bro. Flawless.
You've got this one dialed.
Iamaleava? Yeah.
Iamaleava.
Let's go here.
Yeah, just wild story. I think when did we touch on this, Scotty? It must have been Thursday, because RK wasn't here when the initial story broke that
right. Yeah, it was Thursday. Yeah.
Tennessee and Nico were in a contract dispute, and then my God, it escalates like crazy. I think they were supposed to have their spring game on Saturday. He doesn't show up for that, or doesn't show up to practice, whatever it is. And
to practice the day before the spring game, Gene, you the starting quarterback. Like, that is crazy to me.
Yeah, it's wild. Crazy. So that happens, that comes out, and then it's hours later that Tennessee just goes, nope, we're good. We're not going to play this game, and Nico's headed to the portal.
Good for them, man.
This is
honestly.
When have you ever heard about a team having a meeting, a coach having a meeting to tell the team that they're letting go of a player? Like, you used to not even be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no such thing as a player being moved on from in college football in like 2010. Now it's like
a player either.
Right, but this is so NFL to be like,
no doubt,
cutting the starting quarterback. Like, what?
Yeah, bro. Bro really said that his $2.5 million that he was making just wasn't good enough. Wasn't up to snuff. And then it was reported too from ESPN that he started receiving payments when he was in high school.
2.5 million.
Yeah, bro. Bro really said that his $2.5 million that he was making just wasn't good enough. Wasn't up to snuff. And then it was reported from ESPN that he started receiving payments when he was in high school. So he's been getting paid the last 3 years handsomely as a college football quarterback. And I also read from the ESPN report, if he would have just stayed at Tennessee the next 2 years like he was supposed to, the life of his contract would have paid him $10 million.
And not just that, Scotty. Tennessee went to court. They battled it out with the state of Tennessee to try and pass NIL laws so that they could recruit him and pay him even more to get him to commit to Tennessee.
Because he was one of the first big ones, true NIL, we know we paying you from like you said, from a senior in high school, pretty much. He was one of the first true ones. And Tennessee was obviously one of the first programs to really get with the times. And for it to end up like this is kind of crazy. And to see where he's going to end up, unless he goes to his next stop and completely balls out, I mean, this has to crater his NFL prospects, right? Don't y'all think?
I don't know. I really don't.
I don't think the NFL cares about anything as long as you can really play. But
fair enough.
He's still got stuff to prove in that area.
True.
This is just such a disaster for this era of college football, and I honestly think it comes down to Nico getting bad advice from people in his circle, and this is happening more and more in sports where it's like player X has all of the leverage, and so they're going to press all of the buttons that they can press to get more money because the team has their hands tied. If the starting quarterback on an NFL team wants a new contract, the franchise has no choice. It's just a matter of time before they have to pay him out. And I think that whoever was advising him in this situation thought the same thing. You're the starting quarterback of Tennessee. Tennessee has national championship aspirations. They have no choice but to give you whatever you want. And so you should take advantage of that. You should go and say, I'm not playing for anything less than whatever, $4 million a year, whatever it was. And when Tennessee kind of balked at that and wasn't budging, that's when someone should have told him, okay, call off the dogs. Yeah. This didn't work. Let's get back to work. And for it to end in flames like this, where both sides lose, because Nico's now looking for a new team with a new offense, new coaching staff, whatever, and Tennessee's looking for a new quarterback, is just a disaster on the part of those who are giving him advice.
And it gets even worse for him too, because of the SEC, how the rules that they have for the spring transfer portal window. He can't transfer. He can't stay in the SEC. He's got to leave. So he's got to go to another team. I've already seen Bill Belichick and UNC already thrown out there for him, but I don't really see Bill Belichick being the one to go, $4 million for a 19-year-old. Yes, this sounds like a great deal. Also, I saw over the weekend that Nico and his camp were threatening to hold out ahead of the playoff game. The playoff game where he went and threw 45% completion for 104 yards. Yeah, what are we doing, man?
Hey, a part of me gets it because it's similar to in the NFL, right? When Patrick Surtain resets the cornerback market and then a new cornerback gets paid, and once you're in Surtain's case, once you locked in, the market might have gone up, but you got to wait a year or two, probably in most situations, to renegotiate. But in college football with no guardrails, if you see somebody that you think is better than at your position and making more money than you can instantly, at least in some people's minds, go right back to the negotiating table. And that's at least what Nico tried to do when Tennessee called his bluff. But like I said at the beginning, I kind of get it, because it's if he's making around $3-4 million, Nico is, the Darian Mensah, right, who just left Tulane to go to Duke, is me making $4 million over the next 2 years, $8 million over the next 2 years. And it's if I'm Nico, I was just in the playoff. I was just in the SEC. And Darian Mensah, who was just playing at Tulane, now going to be playing at Duke, is me making as much as me. That don't make sense. And again, Tennessee has playoff aspirations. Duke doesn't. Why are we getting the same amount of money? I get it from Nico's perspective, but like you said, RK, once you try to, go down that path and you realize, they're not playing around. They're not folding. You got to try to reverse course and be the leader of the quarterback of the team still, you know what I'm saying? And just go back to your roots as a football player. But it's just crazy times we're in.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay.
I was just gonna say, like, the chances of him going to a team as good as Tennessee are slim to
No
none.
chance.
And so again, I'm all for guys getting their money. Like, I truly am. But sometimes you're hurting future money trying to get now money.
Yes.
And that's what I fear here is like making a couple more $1 million a year now to be on a worse team with potentially a worse offense, and you end up not progressing the way that you could have, will end up costing you tens of millions of dollars down the road.
Yeah, and I think, Scotty, you're kind of right. Like, I don't want to blame Nico for this. I mean, it obviously kind of looks bad on him, and everyone's like targeting him with this, but I think it's clear that there's someone, as RK said, there's someone in his camp kind of directing him or misleading him. It might even be his pops, because he had that tweet, calling Pete Nakos a bitch, all this crazy stuff. Like, it's all coming from, like, it seems like outside of Nico. Like, Nico hasn't said much. Like, and Girls Club just said, if Nico really just wanted more money, he could have just said, deuces, I'm gone, I'm entering the portal. Like, it didn't have to be a whole dispute type of thing. But I watched Joel Klatt's show today, and he was like adamant that, of like not attacking Nico in his arguments and all. And I thought he had some good points, because clearly this shows like the lack of like guardrails in college football, right? And if anything's going to pick it up and accelerate that process of getting those guardrails, it's situations like this where everyone kind of bands together and goes, this is just not acceptable and this has to change. So I do think there might be some good to eventually come out of this situation. But yeah, it is a mess from all regards. And it's, I don't know. Could you imagine this happened to Colorado? Like, people would not shut up about it. Like, they'd be calling for Coach Prime's job. They'd be burying the kid online. He wouldn't be able to get another, spot on another roster, basically. Like, it's just crazy.
What are the three schools that he's linked to now? You said North Carolina, Tulane, and what was it? Was it UCLA?
I think.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think Tulane is where he should go. They had success with of the options available to the young man. I think Tulane, I can see that for him. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, people might say UCLA, it's the Big Ten, but I don't know. Darian Mensah was really good last year. I think maybe even the last 2 years. No, just last year, because he was a freshman, I believe, at Tulane. I think a similar kind of skill set to Nico. And obviously, they're probably in need of a quarterback since they just lost their guy. So that's at least that's the school of the available options. I think I would pick.
What a disaster. What a disaster. If Tulane, we're going from Tennessee to Tulane.
Fall from grace. Crazy.
He should just go to like Sac State or something. One, they said they have a ton of money now, but like,
yeah.
I mean, honestly, where else is he? Like,
where's he
from? He's from Cali.
He's Hawaiian.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is he Cali?
Maybe going back to California and going to UCLA would be a good thing.
He had a younger brother too. Do you remember this? Madden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had like a crazy recruitment or something too, like last year. So, let's see. Nico is from Cali. Yeah.
Are we in agreement that the Buffs were thrown into this as clickbait?
Obviously.
Oh, that is 100% fact. Yes.
We haven't mentioned that at all since we started talking about this, but like somehow Colorado just got looped into this. It's like, man, what a little engagement booster.
I had people texting me about it too.
Oh yeah.
Coach Prime even like put a tweet out.
Yeah, Coach Prime had to address it.
Yeah, time.
Oh man.
Insane. Okay. The spring game forecast. Boys, I don't know what we did to deserve this. I really don't. This is becoming like miraculous at this point. Like, I don't know, we'd probably have better odds to be struck by lightning walking out today when it's 50 degrees and sunny than getting 3 straight spring games of this. But the early forecast for Saturday, high of 49 with a chance of snow at 40% in the morning that could turn to rain.
This isn't that bad. It's not as bad as you're making it out to be. It's because if you look at the hour by hour, by 2:30, which is when the spring game starts, it's supposed to be 48 degrees. That's fine. 48 degrees and sunny is fine.
I hope you're right, but
I'm just gonna wait it out. I'm not even gonna get myself riled up about it until like Thursday afternoon until I get a more clear picture of the forecast. Because like I checked Saturday and like this past Saturday and like I saw snow and rain, and then I looked yesterday and it wasn't there, and then today it's back. So I'm not even gonna concern myself with that for at least a couple more days.
It's true. And I mean, we looked at like the far out forecast like last week, and It was like 75 or something crazy. We still got time for it to change. I'll tell you what the real disaster in the forecast is, though. The Nuggets open their playoffs at 1:30, and that is just
on Saturday.
Yep,
that's ridiculous.
And that's not all. That's not all.
What? The Avs also are expected to open their playoff run on Saturday as well, but I'm guessing that one will be a night game. If that one's a day game,
that's insane.
I'm listing myself as questionable.
Questionable for the other two.
No, I'm questionable for the spring game.
Wow.
That's wild.
Crazy.
Priorities. No, that's insane.
Okay, just a few more things before we head out. The Buffs will have 2 visits, or they had one actually over the weekend, in Landon Wolme, 2027 wide receiver / tight end. They obviously really like him. I'm pretty sure he's the one who came out and earned an offer at that underclassmen camp or whatever they had last year. So, and then Gavin Mueller, another tight end, is going to visit on May 2nd. Shout out to Zach Rubisam. Headed out to CSU Pueblo to be the head coach, man.
That's awesome.
This is the all-time, like, we're witnessing just like a classic, like, work your way up the ladder coaching story. Zach started as a manager at CU, worked his way all the way up into a full-time role on the coaching staff, now gets himself a head coaching position at a lower level. It will not be long before you see Zach Rubisam on the sidelines during March Madness coaching a team that's pulling off an upset.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Congrats to the coach.
Just one of the good guys at CU, too. Always a pleasure to meet in the hall or something. So best of luck to him. We had TCAL on Friday, but this tweet from Louis Riddick I thought was very interesting. To go to the NFL draft here real quick. He tweets out that 9th pick going to be all kinds of interesting. And then Coach Prime quote tweets it with the eyeball emojis. What do we make of this, gentlemen?
I don't make anything. I mean, we've been doing, like these fun little, like, I don't even know what to call it, hieroglyphs, codes. We're speaking in codes for a while about the draft. I think they're just having fun with it. Right now, the buzz is Shedeur to New Orleans. And so every time kind of the buzz goes one way, I feel like they just lead into it. And so I think that's what I read into it.
I don't take too much just from the standpoint that Shedeur told Kay Adams last week that he's never spoken to Louis Riddick before. And
that is true. I forgot about that.
That's what he said. Obviously, Coach Prime and Louis Riddick have, a relationship, but that doesn't mean that Shedeur and Louis Riddick does. Because, again, Shedeur told Kay Adams that he has literally never spoken to Louis Riddick before. So.
Wasn't he on their show at Pro Day?
I think so.
I don't know. But like I said, that's what Shedeur told Kay Adams on practice. So because of that, I'm not putting too much stock into that.
Friend of the program, of course.
Oh, yeah. We love Lou. We love Lou.
Yes. I was talking about Kay.
Oh. Of course.
Big time, though, for real. Anything else that you guys want to hit on?
Wait, what was that? So what was that in reference to that he hadn't spoken with Louis?
Kay had asked him because earlier last week Lou was on First Take and he said that he hopes that Shedeur doesn't get drafted in the top 3 and that he believes that Shedeur's camp feels the same way. So Kay was like, what do you make of that? And Shedeur was like, I've literally never spoken to him before. So
okay.
That was pretty much it.
It does sound like Shedeur's falling, though, for whatever reason.
It does seem that way, no doubt. It does seem that way.
like I said on Friday's show, it's catch-22 for me. It's wrong for him to fall.
Very wrong.
And it only will help him. So I'm not that mad about it.
I mean, this is why bad teams stay bad, though. This is exactly why.
Imagine how electric it'll be during the draft as like good teams start to come up on the board if Shedeur is still on the board. Like the 49ers are up and we're like, oh my God, what if they do it? Like,
yeah,
that's gonna be exciting. That part's gonna be
what if like the Rams trade up at like the 11th pick or something? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But with the consensus kind of being right now that Shedeur is falling, the consensus is also kind of saying right now that Travis is going number 2 to Cleveland.
Yep.
How do we feel about that?
Oh man, I have many.
We already know how Jake feels about Cleveland.
Yeah, I don't. We'll see.
I'll say this about.
Go ahead.
I'll say this about Cleveland and just like the market and the way the I don't know, the lifestyle, I guess there. Like, I think the low key kind of blue collar nature of it jives well with Travis.
I agree with that. For sure.
I mean, from a football standpoint, it's going to be electric. I mean, I think that he has an opportunity to play both ways there. They have a need at both positions, so hopefully he's able to do that. And okay, if this does happen though, and say we're at pick 15, and Shedeur hasn't been drafted yet, and we see the Cleveland Browns on the clock, that would be electric.
It would be an all-time draft moment.
Yep. As I was on a Cleveland radio show, they asked me about that. I said that will save the Browns franchise.
Yeah.
I think it could, yeah. So, anything else before we get to the Toyota chat?
It's just going to be crazy. I heard somebody say that like either Shedeur goes number 2, either Shedeur goes number 3, or he becomes the story of the NFL draft. And I think that's pretty spot on. Because after the third pick, all we're going to be talking and thinking about as an NFL community, pretty much, I think, is who trades up to get him or where he falls or ends up. And that'll be riveting.
Riveting indeed.
All right, Alyssa, let's go to super chats in the chat.
Chats.
Now I got to make my screen bigger. Hold on.
You want me to read it?
It's from, and no, I got it. N Hill, it says, with this move, do you think some lineman hit the portal, someone like Zach Owens?
Not Zach, I don't think.
Yeah. Someone will hit the portal, though.
I don't think it's because of the move. It's just there's always going to be some turnover.
Yep. Esses says, so is Zai playing right guard then? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, he is. What's up, Essence Services? What's the practice schedule this week? I'd assume Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
That's what it has been, yeah.
That'd be my assumption.
I don't know for sure, though. What's up, Rodney? Who do you guys like in the portal that you would like Colorado to go for? Do you guys have like a guy that you're willing to stand on the table for and say he needs to be a Buff yet?
There's that quarterback out of Tennessee. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have anyone yet, no.
A couple of guys we talked about earlier, Parks, the cornerback from Illinois State, I really like. There's this guy who just entered today. Who submitted his paperwork today. Penn State offensive tackle and guard J.B. Nelson. 6'5", 325 pounds, played in 27 games for Penn State over the last 2 years, 8 starts. Just a massive individual. Again, that tackle guard versatility. They're going to add another lineman, I would assume. So it would be great if it was J.B. Nelson, who is a massive, experienced individual up front. And also the Liberty guy would be cool too. T.J. Bush, who we talked about earlier, Jake.
Yeah, I was going to say TJ Bush as well. But honestly, I haven't seen – I mean, I like Parks. I like what I've seen from him so far. But other than that.
That other Illinois State corner who entered is cold too.
What's his
or
name?
at least very productive. And if they had two really good, like damn near all conference type of corners enter the portal. So
we'll see. But yeah, ask me on Friday. I'll have a better idea. What's next? And Sincere, a day one starter from Rocky. That's a good question.
Can you say anyone currently is a guaranteed starter in the wide receiver room? Draylon? Yeah. And I mean, there's a bunch of more guys that you could name, and then what you would end up doing is just realizing you have more guys than there are spots.
Yep.
So,
sorry, RK.
It's going to be a battle, is all I'm saying.
I was just thinking over the weekend, like, at what point do you add another receiver who is productive, talented, like at least has the looks of a starter for Colorado in 2025? At what point are you back in the situation you were last year where it's like our receiver room is too talented to not have four guys on the field all the time? You know what I'm saying?
Oof.
Like, because I'm almost at that point, because I would have, before Sincere, I would have probably locked in as starters, in 11 personnel, Draylon, Amarion, and Isaiah Harge, probably, right? Which already leaves Joseph Williams out of the starting rotation, who has potential, starter ability. So that's four right there. You add Sincere Brown, you're at five guys who could potentially start a receiver for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's not even counting Cam Michael or any of the freshmen. So I was thinking about that over the weekend, at what point are you back in the same situation where it's like, damn, we just got receivers. We got to get these guys on the field. And how that might impact Zach Atkins or just any of the tight ends, ability to see the field.
And that's all. And that's just the point I was trying to make is like, obviously I expect Omarion to be a starter. Obviously I expect, certain guys to be out there, but the battle for playing time in that wide receiver room is going to be hotly contested.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's a good question. I don't think that it rules you out from like saying we can't run 11 or any other personnel set. But I think if you add another guy that is starter caliber, I think it helps you say, okay, we can grab some of the things that really worked from last year and keep those and implement those maybe more than we initially thought we were. I still think just the overarching theme and philosophy is a shift to a more heavy set personnel so that they can run the ball.
Be interesting.
What's up, Kev, with the super chat? All hail Portal King Prime. Yes, sir.
Shout out, Kev.
Getting started. Day Trippin says Nico or B Morton at Texas Tech. Interesting.
Why you shake your head like that, RK?
I don't think he's going to Texas Tech.
No, I think at least I interpreted it as like, would you take Nico or Bear Morton? That's how I interpreted that super chat.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would take Nico.
I would too. Texas Tech does have the money, though. They're one of those programs that if they really wanted to, they could do it.
I don't know.
Somebody said in the chat earlier during this show that you can't name 5 quarterbacks in college football better than Nico. And I don't know if I believe that. And I'm a Nico guy, but I don't know if that's true.
You want to attempt the exercise? Actually, maybe tomorrow. We're almost to overtime.
Yeah, we can revisit that tomorrow.
I could speed run that exercise.
You got 20 seconds.
Do it then. Yeah, do it. You can really speed run. Do it.
No, I'm good. What's next, Alyssa? Is that it?
Seems like that's it.
We will be back tomorrow. We do have practice tomorrow. Sounds like Tuesday, Thursday will be practice. So,
yeah.
Yes, sir. See you then. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.